Welcome to your video for Lesson 9 in Saxon Math, Intermediate 5. Today we'll be talking about practicing the subtraction algorithm. Our objectives for today: after this lesson you should be able to use the subtraction algorithm to subtract 2 and 3-digit numbers. Some review from your last lesson. Remember that subtraction is taking away, and that addition and subtraction are inverse operations, meaning that they are opposites. So that means they can form a fact family with two of each kind of problem using the same 3 numbers. Today we're going to look at subtraction of larger numbers. Our last lesson was all single-digit subtraction. So today we're going to do some subtraction with numbers that have more than 1 digit. And remember we had an algorithm for addition when we used bigger numbers, and we're going to have the same kind of thing for subtraction. And when we get stuck because the top number is smaller than the bottom number, we borrow from the place value to the left and add 10. And you're going to see some examples of that on the next screen. So here's where we're going to practice our subtraction algorithm. We'll do this problem with the dollar signs on the left first. So when we're doing subtraction with multi-digit numbers, we always start with the ones place. So that means we're going to be doing 6 minus 4 first. So our first step in this problem would be 6 minus 4, which is 2. Now we look at the tens place, and as you can see, we have a 4 minus 6. We know we can't take a bigger number away from a smaller number. So like I said in the previous slide, we're going to borrow from our 3. So we'll cross that 3 out and make it a 2. And then we're going to add 10 and make this 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. And 2 minus 2 is 0, so I'm just not going to write anything there. And I'll put my dollar sign, and you can see the answer is $82. Let's look at this middle problem next. 400 minus 136. So we look at our ones place first. We can't do 0 minus 6. And now when we look to the place value to the left, the tens place, we have a 0 there too, so there's nothing we can borrow. So that gives us a different problem than we had in the first one. So we have to look all the way to the hundreds place first and borrow from there, make that a 3. And we're still going to add 10 to this middle place. But then we need to borrow from that 10 and make it a 9 so that we can make our ones place a 10. Now we can do our subtraction. 10 minus 6, notice I still start with the ones place, is 4. 9 minus 3 is 6. And 2 minus 1 is 1. 164 would be our answer to that problem. Finally, let's look at this last practice problem here. 435 minus 76. You can imagine there's a 0 right here, and remember we always line up our ones place. So right away, 5 minus 6, I know I can't do that in the ones place, so I borrow from this 3, make it a 2, and make the 5 a 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. Now I can't do 2 minus 7, so I'm going to have to borrow from this 4, make that a 3, and then turn my 2 into a 12 by adding 10. 12 minus 7 is 5, and 3 minus 0, that's kind of why I put that 0 there, so I would remember that there's nothing there, is 3. So the answer would be 359. That's all we have for your lesson today. Make sure you answer your practice problems and then write down any questions you have in that discussion section, and we'll talk about them in class. We'll see you in lesson 10.